ki khubor ka batisi TV. Lawan ra ashapi dak Orange Nissan looms hop ho near Fire Brigade Shillong, ringkat bat ka M Crown Hotel Kandailat Shillong, ka Three Olives Restaurant, balak play nakbantaban Shakriya P, hapo ka jingada jong ka Bio Bubble Antivirus Coating, ringkat ka Cosmic Kingdom, ka Jakai Lekai Bapaw ha Shillong, balayada na ka Bio Bubble Antivirus Coating, balale da ka Meva Enterprise.
Ka Sorkar jilla ka balas ngap ye ka jingo jingnam jong ki pait ba ha ka bayadai bat ka jingye khi ka ba klemput sngi balakhot penlong da ka Meghalaya Joint Action Committee of Commercial Vehicles ka balakta hado kata ye ka lek kawan bat ka ra ka rong jong ki pait ba nong shong shnong ha ka janme jong ka khan rew tarik urumphang arajar arpuwei ka Sorkar jilla ka lashim ye ka rai ban Pynhiar no ye ka jingshim khajna na ka petrol da arpo% ka bamud Bementa ka Petrol ka balakeu syakador ka bakhandai puwei poin arpuhun rew Litar kan hirno sya ka prapusan poin prapuhun rew tengka Litar hakador di Khutia katba ka jingshim khajna na ka umpenyang diesel ka balong menshwa arpu poin khandai pusan persen hanrei yamenta pat la Pynhiar sya ka khat % ha ka bakador ka bementa kan hirno sya ka hnyo phukhandai poin khatlai tengka Litar nakador ka barim ka balong hadu prapusau poin arpulai tengka Litar yakani la pentip da umentri rangba jong ka Sorkar jilla u Konrad Konggal sangma ha ka jingye keren bat kilat pathai khubor ha kamra trekam jong u ha ka ba ula pentip ru da ka jing Pynhiar ya ka dor jong ka petrol bat diesel hapo ka jilla barok ka wei kan pensuk ye ki paj ba ha ka lait kawan bat kan weng ru ye ka jingye jong ki nongnya kali kamai ki bala penlong ye ka jingye khi ka ba klemput sngi bat ka badang yai peteng hadu menta.
As you're aware, the price of petrol has increased in the recent past. Shillong today has a price of 91.26 rupees per litre for petrol, and in Shillong the price for diesel is 84.23 rupees per litre. Keeping this aspect in mind and the fact that consumers are being affected, and in spite of the fact that state is facing a lot of financial issues, and the VAT that we've collected from petrol and diesel has helped the state in these periods of COVID-19 that we have faced and the challenges we have faced, the government of Meghalaya has decided that we will be reducing the VAT for petrol and for diesel both. The reduction for petrol, which currently is at 31.62% or 17.60 per litre, will now be reduced to 20% or 15 rupees per litre, whichever is higher. This would mean that the price of petrol in Meghalaya, in Shillong, would reduce from 91.26 rupees to 85.86 rupees, a reduction of approximately 6 rupees. And if you were to include the earlier 2 rupees that we have already reduced, it would come up to almost 7.4 rupees per litre in Shillong, and respectively in other districts also the impact will be, especially in Riboy, the impact will be accordingly felt. Apart from petrol, in diesel, the VAT structure, which is currently at 22.95% or 12 rupees per litre, whichever is higher, will now be reduced to 12% or 9 rupees per litre, whichever is higher, which would mean that diesel would cost from 84.23 rupees in Shillong would now be down to 79.13, a reduction of approximately 5 rupees in diesel. And if you were to include the 2 rupees that was done initially, that would be approximately 7 rupees. So both prices of diesel and petrol will be reduced by approximately 7 rupees. And this is being done primarily to ensure that the consumers are not affected by the high prices. So in order to give some relief to the consumers in the state, this is being done. And also, you have noticed that in the past, we have always maintained the competitive pricing with Guwahati and with Assam in order to ensure that our sales are not affected. So we are hopeful that with this, our sales also will go up and we will be able to make up some of the losses in the taxes that we may have due to the reduction of the prices in both petrol and diesel. I think right now the pressing issue is which affects the citizens in general, which then affects the goods aspect also, is the price of the petrol and diesel. So transportation gets affected and every consumer is affected. So in appropriate time, we are examining the prices for the excise also, because as I said, we need to maintain a competitive pricing. So that area also is being examined, but once the calculations come in, we examine, entire details are examined, then we will take the call. The department is already working on the details and we will just examine it and then we'll take a decision. The taxi owners and the commercial vehicle owners did suffer at their individual levels also. It was a difficult phase for them, and and I'm happy now that because of the reforms that have taken place and because of the adjustments now that in the VAT that we have taken place, I'm sure that this will affect and make the consumers overall happy, and obviously even the commercial vehicles also will benefit from the reduction in the price. We have revised the passenger fares in 2020, and whatever the fares were revised in 2020 will be applicable. Well, we can only go for an estimation because it all depends on the sale also that takes place. But the revenue loss that we do expect, which we would have received if the old rates have continued, the revenue loss expected would be approximately 20 plus crores every month. But on the other side, I would also like to inform you that the revenues compared to last year, which was 326 crores for the entire year, today at January, we have already touched 451 crores. So the jump in the revenue compared to last year has been there, and therefore even though the revenue will come down, we expect that the revenue overall from VAT in the petrol and diesel will go up from 326 crores last year to at least 470 crores this year. So there's a 140 crore jump, but it would have been more if the prices had not come down. But as I said, we want to ensure that our consumers get some relief, and for that we have decided to cut down the VAT. It has been a tough year. Through this VAT collection and through the excise collection, we have managed to get some relief. So obviously it has been something that has helped us a lot, and in the future also we are going to examine all possible ways, whether it's luxury tax or whatever you call it. We'll find out ways in which we can increase our revenue because it's required. Just few months back, if you remember, we have also included another 10 or 14 items which included we were not there for cess, so we've included that in the cess notification also, and that, as you know, will help us raise at least about 70 crores, and with that money we'll be able to build the 200 schools that we're planning to do this year is going to be built with that money. So all these factors are being examined. So obviously we will examine every possible way in which we can increase the revenue of the state, but we need to also keep in mind the consumers and the citizens of the state so that it does not put too much pressure.